Three big updates. We're launching a new app called the CSAY app that you will hear from our speakers today, and we're also launching a ban policy. This is in addition to an exciting new tenant in our building, which is the APD's Transit Safety Officers. So we'll be hearing about from Chief and Commander Bartlett today. So thank you all again for being here to learn about our layered approach to transit safety. All right, I'll pass it on to Mayor Keller.
All right, well, thanks so much and good afternoon. This is, I think, probably one of the more important announcements we've made in our transit department in the last few years, and I'll sort of touch on why briefly, and we have our experts to hear and walk us through this. But I want to start by reminding everyone, look, we want our bus riders to use our system in what is termed frictionless. And that cuts two ways. There should be no friction having to pay or find your change, right? That's the free fares and fare equity concept that we have embraced and that we like and we're going to continue to use. The other side of that is that there's no friction upon them from danger, from personal safety, or even personal space. And certainly that includes any illegal activity, whether it's drug use, and other sometimes unfortunately dangerous things that have been happening on our buses. So it's this notion of getting back to this frictionless where you're not really worried about your safety, you're not worried about if you have enough money, you're just riding the bus. That's what we're going to get back to in Albuquerque. Now, a few months ago we announced that really this takes three components. One is the free fares, and so check. Second one was creating a layered enforcement approach. Now, I know we're throwing some new buzzwords out there, but these are terms that actually we're going to use probably throughout the next year and a half. Layered means that we use multiple departments to address the issue at different times of the day in different ways. So the layer is right here. These are all different layers of enforcement and safety that we're going to use in our bus system. And of course, the idea is you're matching the challenge with the response. First, it's, hey, please stop doing this on the bus. And then it sort of escalates if things get worse or if the situation continues to escalate. So the idea is matching the response with the problem, but also being vigilant about it, making sure that we have this layered response available within a few hours Not necessarily like, we get calls now, well, something happened on the bus, yesterday. Obviously, we can't immediately deal with that situation. That's where the third piece of this project comes in, and that's what we're announcing today. And that piece is the CSAY app. And so this is literally where you can help us keep our buses safer. And so we're going to walk through a demonstration, but basically there's an app on your phone, and we saw this work wonderfully in Denver as an example of where they use it, and some of the other things we've role modeled off different other transit systems. But the idea is, if I see someone smoking fentanyl, I'm just being real and giving you a specific example. We don't want citizens engaging in that situation, but we do want you to report it right away. So you can use your phone, discreetly take the picture, and there's a way where the app tells the security where the bus is and what's happening, right? So at the next stop, we would address that issue. And so now it's going to take a while to set this up, right? And right now we're focusing just on Central, but eventually we want to have this all over the city. But this is going to be the sort of third leg in the stool of making our bus system frictionless and safe. And this piece is about reporting by riders so that we can actually enforce things on people who are doing illegal activity right away on the bus. Essentially, we can catch them. And so this is a very powerful tool, and this has been, in some ways, the sort of secret sauce to transit safety in other cities. It's those three things. Well, for us, it's three. A lot of them don't have free fares, but for us, it's that layered security, but then it's an immediate way to make sure that we can deal with the issue. And the eyes, right, the reporting of that is our riders. And so we are asking our riders to help us in this small, technically easy, convenient way to make our bus system safe each and every day. So again, we're going to be rolling this out. It's going to have tweaks and changes and improvements and all that. We'll tell you more about it. But these things together are how we are going to restore safety and frictionless ridership for everyone in Albuquerque on our bus system and at our stops. But reminder, we are starting on Central, and we're going to expand it out from there. So with more on this, let's hear from the experts. And first, our Deputy Director of Transit. Come on up.
Thanks, Mayor. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for coming out. I want to thank the Mayor for allowing us to experiment and try these new techniques. I want to thank Chief Medina for his help. I want to thank James Harding, one of our drivers, for being here today to give us his stories. I want to thank all of our safety partners, APD, Metro Security, ACS. We couldn't do any of this without that partnership, so thank you for all of that. I want to thank my director, who couldn't be here today, for allowing us to take these steps and try things out, and Chris Bergs, our IT manager, for implementing this app, getting out there and finding it and putting it into play for us. Like Mayor said, we've got three big announcements. I'll go ahead and start first with the CSAY app. The CSAY app is an app that's been used throughout the country in multiple other agencies, and it works successfully. What we really like about it is it keeps the passengers safe. They can report anonymously, and no one has to know that they're actually reporting them. If you don't have a smartphone, you can always text or call 505-391-2600. The CSAY app is very, very discreet. We'll show you a short demonstration a little bit. Nobody even knows that you're actually reporting anyone. It's the beauty behind it. It puts the power back into the passenger's hand so that they can let us know immediately what's going on. We can't take care of issues if we don't know what's happening. So it's real important that we partner up with our passengers, and we wanted to make sure that we kept them safe as we were doing this partnership. This app will allow passengers to report more than just somebody misbehaving on the bus. They can let us know if a bus stop is dirty, if a bus needs to be cleaned, and we can get on it immediately and take care of that, because we also believe that part of a safe system is a clean system. A lot of these rules to ride, if folks decide that they don't want to follow the rules, then we'll have to step in and take care of that. We're no longer going to tolerate this misbehavior. Like Mayor said, we want everyone to feel safe on board. So please get on board, ride safely, and this way we don't have to take it to that next step. That next step, I'm proud to finally announce, that we're going to be introducing a banning policy for those individuals that just refuse to get on board. We have some wonderful transit safety officers that are out here. We have wonderful metro security officers that help participate. Our ACS teams get out there, and we repeatedly try to get folks to get online and help us to operate a safe system. And if they continue to not follow the rules to ride, then we'll have to institute a ban on these individuals. These bans, we keep them, we have decided to keep the bans into a 3-tier system, from the most severe down to those that aren't so bad. You can be banned for as little as 7 days and onwards from there. It just depends on the severity. And our response to these will also really depends on the incident that's going on. So if you're out there and you decide you want to take a swing at one of our officers or at one of our drivers, we'll have to call one of the officers in, and then you're obviously going to be banned for quite some time. So please follow the rules out there. We've been talking about rules to ride for several months. We have signs up everywhere on our buses and at our different locations. So please follow the rules. Let's allow us to get you from point A to point B. Along with that, the ATC lately has been a really great place to hang out. We mentioned, I think a couple weeks ago, that ACS is now one of our tenants. And today we want to also mention that APD has moved in. So in addition to the 2 metro security officers that we have on a regular basis at the ATC, we'll now have 2 transit safety officers in addition to that. Over the last couple of weeks with their presence, the ATC has really seen a significant turnaround. We're very happy with all the work that's been going on between all the departments, and we look forward to where we go in the future. With that, I'll turn it over to Chief.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for being here. First of all, I want to start with thanking our executive staff, our deputy chiefs, our commanders. This was truly an exercise in problem solving. 1 year ago, we received the Transit Safety Department from the city. City Council approved them to move over to APD. We got 0 employees with that move. We were short 21 transit officers. Through their problem solving, through their recruiting efforts, through them thinking through this process, through us being overstaffed by nearly 50 PSAs at one point in time, I'm happy to say now we're staffed with 17 full-time transit safety officers. We're only lacking 4. We have those 4 in process, and it's made a huge difference for us on how everybody at the police department came together with other city departments and found a way. One of the first things we did is we actually transferred a bunch of our extra PSAs to start riding the buses and to put that presence. So I think the staff has done a great job citywide working together. I have a couple of commanders back there, Commander Langwood in the southeast and Commander Bartlett, who have really put a lot of time and effort into this. And this is a success so far because of the work that they've done and what their vision was in creating a transit safety department. We have some officers in the back from our downtown PRT teams. Every day they come to the ATC and they help clear it out. And when Mayor talked about a layered approach, what our approach is simple. Myself, Jody Escobar, the director of ACS, we've come together and we've had a discussion how they're the first layer. Each morning they have representatives out here who are offering resources and trying to get individuals to move on, get resources, and kind of clear out the ATC. Somewhere during the mid-morning, it really is turned over to security, whether it's going to be transit security or city security. They're the next layer in getting individuals to clear out and make sure that they're here for legitimate reasons. And then the third layer is going to be our officers, who each and every day are conducting arrests and issuing citations to individuals. And it's this inner city cooperation and strong communication amongst the city departments that is helping us change the course of some of what you're seeing. Over the past few weeks, I've driven by the ATC several times because there's a priority of ours to clean up, and I could see that slowly and surely it's getting a whole lot better. It's getting a whole lot cleaner. It's not perfect, and I'm sure we'll always have individuals who are coming in and out. Just yesterday, I received a picture from a deputy chief of the tunnel here going across the railroad tracks and how clear it was yesterday. And we will continue the efforts to make sure that there is a presence at all these locations, that we have a little bit of compassion. We start with this layered response of trying to get people to the right resources, help, give them a little nudge a little bit later with security, see if we could get them either to help or to vacate the area. And as a last draw, our officers will come in and they'll take the enforcement action as necessary. And I think it's that layered approach that meets all the needs of all the community. It meets the needs of the community who wants us to be empathetic, compassionate, and help the unhoused, but it also meets the needs of the citizens who want a safe, clean, free of harassment transportation system to be able to enjoy. So, like I said, when I started this off, this is a result of great work from people below me, deputy chiefs and commanders who came together, developed a strong problem-solving process on how to address some of the problems that we were seeing with the resources we had, and hopefully we could continue to move forward with what they've done and use this as a template in addressing other parts of the city. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Gerard Bartlett. I'm the commander of the Crisis Intervention Division, which includes the Prisoner Transport Unit, our Crisis Intervention Section, and APD's new Transit Safety Section. So I also want to start off by thanking Chief Medina and Mayor and the Transit Department and ACS for the opportunity to collaborate. It's been a learning experience, and it's been truly great to have APD more enmeshed within our public safety approach to safety on our transit system. Just to talk a little bit more specifically about the roles within APD, we have our police service aides. Right now, our police service aides are riding the ART route in pairs, and they're acting as a second and third set of eyes for our drivers. Their main focus is observing and reporting violations of rules to ride the bus, which I'm sure the transit department can talk about. Once they make a report for a violation of rules to ride the bus, they hand off that information to our transit safety officers. Our transit safety officers can then respond and provide a brief intervention. And like Chief said, they are customer service oriented, their approach. And they'll talk to the individual about the violation of the rule to ride the bus that they're experiencing. And of course, our last option is police officers within the Albuquerque Police Department. I also want to thank Deputy Director Cisneros for sharing the CSAY app today. It's super important for us. We talked about police service aides being a second and third set of eyes, but our ridership is our most important focus. And we're battling both perceptions and realities of public safety on our transit system. So I would encourage people, if they see something, to say something. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is James Harding. I've been a motor coach operator for a little over 7 years. I started out by driving the Rapid Ride, the big old red buses. And then when the ART buses came in, I got right on the ART bus and I loved it. I loved my job. For a little while there, it got down to be where there was a lot of problems with the stealing and the fentanyl smoking and all that. And as of late, with the APD, ACS, PSA, and our subcontractor securities, I myself have noticed a big difference on our ART platforms especially. We used to be able to not even be able to pull into Louisiana with our windows open. We had to have our windows closed because as soon as you pull in, all you smelled was fentanyl. Now, with all these people here, it's made a big difference, and my elderly customers that left the program, that left our bus lines for a while, they come back and they have now told me that they feel safe again on our bus stops and on our buses. I believe that it can only get better. I believe that right from the mayor all on down through transit, our managers, our supervisors and everybody working together, and I think we'll be just fine. And thank you for everybody for making our city safe.
Thank you so much. Okay, go ahead to your bus.
Oh.
All right, so we've thrown a lot at you, and we want you to understand how this all fits together a little better, how all these different safety initiatives come at an impact point. So we're going to actually present a short demonstration for you all just to show how this the CSA app and the reporting system feeds into our new policy and how that ties into our transit safety officers, our PSAs, and our other safety and security entities. So we're going to go ahead and I guess Mayor Keller is going to be riding the bus as well. So we'll call in a few of our transit staff members to help with this demonstration. And and before we start this demo, just so you know what's going to be happening, so nobody's shocked, someone is going to be causing an issue. Someone else is going to be boarding the bus. There will be a vigilant bystander and a professional bus driver here for you today. These passengers are riding the ART Red Line 766, so I'll go ahead and let the demonstration unfold. Thank you.
Hold on one second.
Oh.
Was she supposed to sit here? No, you're good. Okay, I don't want to mess up the
No,
demo.
you're okay. You're good. You're.
I actually just sat down.
It's a comfortable chair. No, you're perfect. Okay. Commence.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Hey, lady. Hey, lady. Hey, you have a boyfriend? Hey, lady, you want to come sit next to me? No, hey, lady, come here, I'm not done talking to you yet. Hey, you got a boyfriend?
And that will end the demonstration. Unfortunately, this is a situation that can be seen in the transit system, but today with what we're presenting, we're hoping to remedy that. What I want you to observe is we have a light that's flashing. That light will be seen in our dispatch center every time a report comes through on the CSA app. Also, what's coming through on the screen is an example of what we see in our dispatch center when different reports come through. So I'm going to draw your attention to a few items here. So first thing, from this report, can anyone tell who the anonymous reporter might have been? Okay, I'll tell you. It was Bobby Cisneros, our deputy director. He very clandestinely took a picture of what was happening, and what we receive in our dispatch center is this image, so that we now have a visual confirmation of who was causing the issue on our bus. We can see his face and how he's irritating this woman here. Now, if you believe the photo, I'll show you that we also know the date, the time, the location, to a pinpointed location. We know that this is happening exactly in our Santa Fe room right here at the Alvarado Transportation Center. We ask that people report immediately because your location does not help if you report hours later once you've gone back to your house. So the way to best help the transit system help you is to tell us where this incident took place. So if you'll zoom out, Chris. You'll also see that this was a category of harassment. This happened on a bus. In the description was indicating everything it should. It tells you what route, what bus, who is doing this disruption. He's disruptive, he's intoxicated, he was yelling at people. I'm feeling unsafe and nervous, please help us. So in this case, what would happen is, because this is a serious infraction, this is harassment of a woman on the transit system, our dispatch team would be immediately notified by this light I pointed out, and they would dispatch one of our safety team members. So that might be ACS, that might be Metro Security, that might be TSOs. Likely in this case, because it's happening on a bus, our transit safety officers would immediately reach that bus on a mobile unit and cater to the issue. They're trained specifically for that. Another important thing to note about the system and what we experience in the back end of this app is we have advanced reporting. We've never had reporting like this before. It's really going to help us understand where issues are happening in the transit system, and it will help us as a department to strategize how to aid those issues. The setup we have right now with our various safety entities that are all partnered and here today is that we're agile and we can adjust our system to meet the need where concentrated issues and trends are arising. So this is the kind of reporting that we'll see in the back end, and we'll analyze trends with that. If there are issues repeatedly happening on a certain route, we will have more PSAs on that route, and we'll concentrate transit safety officer efforts in that area and do other safety initiatives to help with it the best we can. So we wanted to show you that demonstration. I hope it was helpful for everyone. And now I'll open it up to our Q&A for any reporters who have questions. Okay. Go ahead.
When it comes to banning, how how long would someone be banned if they use, I guess, in this case, harassment or drug use?
Yeah, so that would be categorized as a level 1 incident, and you'll be able to read our banning policy thoroughly, or our suspension policy online. It's available at abqred.com, so definitely check that out. But that would be a level 1, and they would likely be banned for more than 6 months or more than a year for that infraction.
For drug use or harassment?
So we have the categories all written out, so I'm happy to share a little with you. Oh, but we'll have Bobby answer.
Hi, sorry about that. I want to interject. I misspoke a little bit. It's a suspension policy. My nerves got the best of me. But on a drug infraction, that would definitely be a level 2. And then the supervisor, as they arrive on scene, they can assess the situation and determine. But level 2 is anywhere from 6 months to a year. Suspension is what they would be looking at.
And how would you guys implement those, I guess, ban policies?
Yeah, so we would ask our supervisors as they get there and they assess the situation, and then they would we would have a notice that they would fill out, a paper notice form that they would fill out, and then they would inform the individual about the duration of their suspension, and the individual would also have the opportunity to appeal it. You know, so if they feel like we falsely accused them of something, then they can appeal that process as well. And we have an appeal board that would review them all, and then they would ultimately determine if the suspension is upheld or if the suspension needs to be removed because we misspoke on our side.
So let's say someone gets suspended from using the bus. How will that be enforced? Does the bus driver have to enforce them not getting on the bus, or how does that work?
Good question. Yeah, so definitely. So we're working with some software on the back end so that our drivers, when they get their paddle boards in the morning, when they leave for their day, they'll be able to see who has been suspended. And if they see anyone, our new policy since I guess a couple of years ago, we've asked the drivers to no longer get involved with that kind of operation, just to report it. So then we'll send one of our transit safety officers or metro security mobile units out to remove the individual. We don't want our drivers getting involved in those situations. They're busy trying to keep everyone on the bus safe, keep the big equipment running safely down the road. So the last thing we need them to do is worry about someone in the back. If they happen to see someone, then they call and report it.
So it's not going to be 100% if you're suspended from the bus, you can't ride the bus. It's if a bus driver notices it.
Yeah, it makes it tough. You're absolutely right. We have a large system. Our city is spread out over a vast area. We have a lot of buses that are operating on a regular basis. Our ridership tends to get near 7 million each year, so that's a lot of faces on and off of the buses. It's no different than when APD issues a criminal trespass. Sometimes they unfortunately may jump on a bus unnoticed and nobody notices them. So we're going to do our best to find everyone and make sure that they comply.
Next question. So for that little example that you guys provided, like the harassment, and I know you said the driver can't get involved, how fast can the unit come in there if that individual continuously harass the woman that's in the bus?
We would hope they would be there before the individual alights from the bus. Because if we can't get them, then it makes it difficult to address the situation. So we would really hope that we can get there in time. We have mobile units within that are real close to our ART stations and our ART buses, so hopefully we can respond really fast. However, if someone's reporting an incident in Louisiana and Central and our closest unit is down at Atrisco in Central, it's going to take that amount of time to get to them.
So how can the passenger mediate that kind of situation if it was an ongoing, and let's say the unit can't get to the bus as quick as possible and it turns kind of a little aggressive?
I think I would probably ask APD for tips on how best to handle that kind of situation, but I think remaining calm would be one of them. But Chief can talk about how the public can remain calm.
I think it's always important to remember that your safety comes first. I think one of the things that the public tends to forget sometimes is, and I always go back to a story my cousin once told me. My cousin once told me, I pulled into the road and this semi-truck almost hit me, and I didn't give in because it would have been their fault. And I told my cousin, yeah, but you'd have been dead. And we have to use that analogy and remember that sometimes we need to remove ourselves from a situation if we feel it's that dangerous and give up that little bit of ground. So I'd always recommend to the public that if you feel you're in a situation where an individual is threatening to you or others, it's best for you to remove yourself from that situation, and we'll catch up. One of the things that was mentioned earlier is like, how do we know somebody's banned from the buses? You'd be shocked if one thing I've learned, and I think our coach driver here could probably attest to this, you'd be shocked to know how much our drivers know about individuals, who the problemed individuals are, who the people are on the buses causing problems, who they deal with day in and day out. Because it really is a small portion of riders that are causing 90% of the issues on the buses. And our drivers do this for a living every single day, and they know who they need to point out or who's been banned. So I think we got to remember their expertise of knowing everybody on the bus system and knowing who those problematic individuals are and knowing that they're going to be able to flag them for law enforcement.
All right. Okay, let's take one more question.
I don't know if you guys are starting on Central and then looking to expand. How are you guys determining which other, I guess, places are you guys expanding to after Central?
Are you talking about our transit safety officers?
You guys had mentioned, was it?
All of the above. Oh, okay. So our concentrated safety efforts. Did you want to get this one too?
You know, in the last 6.5 years, 7 years, one of the things that we've really relied on is data. You'd go to a press conference at APD and we talk about data is going to tell us where we put resources. Right now I have as many resources I can tell you on Central from San Mateo to Wyoming just because of the data showing that that's where we have some of our biggest issues. So data is going to tell us through the app is another way for us to collect data to see where problems are, through calls for service, through a lot of different ways of even our safety officers out there knowing the bus drivers. The bus drivers and the communication with our personnel is going to determine where we need to put resources. At one point in time, we knew we needed resources on our transit system around uptown area because of the shopliftings that were occurring. People were accessing some of the public transportation in that area. So data is always going to drive us in the right direction of where to stick our resources and where they're most needed, along with the communication and the teamwork between ourselves and some of the transit drivers and other members of their team.
All right. Well, I think if we don't have any more questions, we'll wrap up the press conference. So thank you all so much for being here today. And we will be getting some pictures of our staff members, our speakers, and some of our safety personnel after this. So please stick around and what's that? Oh, and please stick around and thanks again for coming.